Welcome to Warrior Whispers, where we talk about the beauty of what's happening in today's world against all the craziness and the beastiness of society. And today I have the delight and pleasure of interviewing Vilma Manning, who is a elementary school teacher at Normandy Park Elementary. She's got some fascinating stories to tell about her experience as a school teacher. And so we're just going to dive right in. Vilma, tell me about yourself before you were a teacher and will lead me through what really drove your heart to become a teacher.
I was born in Puerto Rico, and then I grew up in Florida. My family moved to Central Florida. Anyhow, my mom, I was with her in Orlando area, and then my dad is in Miami. The culture is a big part of me because my dad's parents helped out with raising me. So I was with them during the school year. And my brother and I spent our summers in Puerto Rico. And then, so the teaching piece came, I just enjoyed working with kids. And back in the day, all young people babysat. And, that's how I made my money. I started babysitting in fifth grade or sixth grade, where my neighbor left a 3-week-old baby with me. Couldn't believe it, but there I was. And I just enjoyed the experiences I had with the kids. When it came time to figure out the next step of what are you going to do with your life, my mom and I sat down and we talked about it, and I decided that teaching felt right and it felt good. And so I applied to Boston University School of Education, was accepted, and that's all I've known is teaching. And I think it was in me. I can't imagine doing anything else. And there were no other options. That was it.
That's beautiful. Thank God for it. So, how did you get to be a teacher at Normandy Park?
Okay, so I was a teacher for 4 years in Boston area, and I was hired as a bilingual educator. I taught in an inner city setting in Dorchester, where I learned so much as a first year teacher. And then my first 4 years, those formative years of teaching, I learned so much about myself and the resilience of children when faced with a lot of adversity. What you can, as an educator, what you can bring to the table. I've started teaching at 22. I've been doing this since 1995. So here I was, 22, a real job affecting the lives of real people. That was for 4 years. And then I met my now husband, Hans, and we got married and we moved here to New Jersey. And so I came to Normandy Park School in 1999. And I was a Spanish teacher for about 10, 12 years. And then they did away with the program and I went back into being a bilingual educator, which is where I can say my passion is.
Tell me about your school. Demographics,
Yeah.
economics. Tell me about your school.
What I love about our school is we have a little bit of everything. We have economically, we have the entire range. I am in a bilingual program, so most of my families come from Central America. That's what I love about my school. You have a little bit of everything there. It's a multi-age magnet school. And so families choose to come to our school. They're in a lottery, but it's a public school. And we have mixed grade levels. Currently, I'm a second, third, and fourth grade bilingual teacher with an inclusion special education teacher that works with me. Even within my own classroom, there's a lot of diversity. The school is in a beautiful setting. Morristown is a great town to live in and teach in because there's just everything here. We love the diversity here.
How does the diversity work with the kids?
You have to work with the kids on it. Let me give you an example. I'm in a bilingual setting and we are just by ourselves in this classroom. let's say that my kid gets in trouble with another kid, then the other kid, no matter white, black, sometimes even another Hispanic kid will say, "Oh, the Spanish kid did it to me, the Spanish kid." It doesn't come out sounding nice. It's not like, "Oh, that the Spanish speaking kid came from the Spanish speaking classroom." It's always, "Well, the Spanish kid did it." So, I had to work with my principal and other teachers. It was great working with them because I had to tell them this is happening, and why can't we just be the students in Miss Velez's classroom or the students from room 11? We're Hispanic, we speak Spanish, and that's actually a great thing. We have a multicultural curriculum. We try to make sure that every student sees themselves in some part of the educational day, which is very important. That's how we work with the diversity piece, which is we just want to make sure that everybody is cared for and is seen, is heard, and is respected. And the differences make us amazing. But more alike, that's the other piece. We're more alike than different.
I imagine that you help the kids realize exactly that if they hadn't already.
Absolutely. We say things for my classroom setting, such as being bilingual is my superpower. It's so great. We're learning. It might be hard what you're learning today, but you're doing this in two languages. It's going to pay off for you one day. Look at me. I'm a bilingual teacher. And to be honest with you, when I got my job in Boston as a bilingual teacher, I jumped the line. There was a line that probably went on for an hour or so where teachers were lined up with resumes. And there was a person who came down looking at the resumes, plucked mine out, and said, "Oh, you speak Spanish," circled it, with a red pen or something. And this person took me right to the front of the line. And so I tell my students this story, which is to say, I had the education for it, but it got my foot in the door. I was right for the position. When they saw that, they said, "Okay, we're going to fast track you because you have this one thing. Now we're going to see if you have everything else." I like to share that story because being bilingual it's a gift.
You have the superpower.
Superpower.
What are some challenges that you've seen in the school and in teaching?
Yeah.
Things that are difficulties that you think still need to be overcome?
A few things which I personally have dealt with. I have a lot of students that will come to me, and they might be fourth and fifth grade, but they come from countries. It's not like it is here in our country. And they may come as a fifth grader and not know how to read in Spanish, know that they can't do it. One challenge I personally have, which within my own classroom, is you have to make sure that the kid has dignity. That I'm not going to pull out an ABC book for a fifth grader. I'm going to find the book where I can teach the student in a way that makes that child feel this is okay. This is my journey. That I'm not smart. It's that this is where I am in the journey of education. I have students that come from a lot of trauma, whether it's why they left their country or the journey here or leaving family behind or loss. So that's a personal thing. But I would say the biggest challenge that we as a school, and I think educators everywhere are having, the technology and the computers and the phones and the smartwatches. You're constantly battling these things. When the pandemic hit, we all had to have computers and Chromebooks, and everything was digitized. As the years have gone by, now we're 2025, my goal is during the school day to have as much time off screen than on screen, because there is a benefit to on screen. We have very wonderful adaptive learning programs. So if I cannot be with a student, the program will adapt to the student's needs. But I always tell the students, if a teacher calls you to work with her, that is more important than your screen. The kids lost a lot of that, how to interact with each other. So, what 2020, we were all home. My school district went back the following school year masked, and we were in person. We taught a year and over a year and a half with masks. When the masks came and when we could get a little closer to each other, it wasn't the 6 feet apart. These children did not understand how to work with each other, and they were afraid. And my whole teaching career has been, okay, now pair up with a student, let's work in groups, let's do this project together. And it's about communicating with each other. And that was taken from us. So we had to teach the students again how to work with each other. It wasn't even about getting along, it was about being afraid. In my own family, I was afraid. In my own family, we stayed holed up in this house. It was kind of scary to go back into society and think
Yeah.
what could happen. And those are some that have been my challenges throughout the years, but something that I've seen in education in general.
How did you get the kids to work together if they had lost some of their skills?
Very slow process, and I would just give the option. I don't want to do that to a student. And it just became easier as the world opened up again,
Mm.
and it just became more natural. But I would sit with them and I would say, okay, so I'm going to go sit with this group now, and let me model for you what this would look like. So you and I will exchange. I'll ask you questions, you answer, and there are some questions that you can go with. And then I would go to the other group and I would say the same thing. It's teaching. I had to teach them specifically now how to work with each other again because we hadn't done it for a while. A lot of modeling and feeding and then giving them the opportunity to then do it independently. And a lot of positive and praise, lots of praise.
So if somebody's in trouble in your classroom, what do you do?
Yes. My philosophy is positive reinforcement. The rules are to be followed, but you earn things for doing good things. You always try things as a teacher. Just try new things and see what sticks. A few years ago, I had a very large classroom and I had multiple grade levels and the behaviors were getting a little out of control. And I said, I'm going to try this out. So I like Florida State Seminoles, and I'd noticed that they have the tomahawks. The players earn tomahawks, right, on their helmet. So I created this little presentation and I said, listen, I'm going to put these helmets up, and when you do something good, you're going to get a sticker. And I told them about the sports teams, how they do this. Now, when you fill up this helmet with sticker, the prize is you're going to go to the next helmet. And then you can earn, I said, you can earn 10 extra minutes of free choice time when you go to the next helmet. Well, it's these, yeah, I'm talking fifth graders too. These are crazy for how can I earn a sticker and how can I get a new sticker? And so that is what drives my students to this day. Our school has the school-wide theme, and last year it was travel, so I had suitcases. This year it's level up your learning, so it's game-based. I have video controls, and they're always asking, "Okay, how many more stickers until I can get to the next one?" One of the prizes they can earn when they move to the next video control is they can start with a real big sticker so that they can get to that fifth video control and get the big prize. Which is it's nothing. It's this little prize box. I had no idea. You don't know what's gonna stick.
Right.
So anyhow, there's the other side of if I see a student that's misbehaving constantly, I'm going to get to the bottom of why are you misbehaving? Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. What's happening at home? Are you getting enough sleep? Is it a trauma that we haven't discussed? You have to have their hearts before they will give you their brains. You're constantly checking and you're constantly seeing, why does that kid miss so many days of school? I'll talk to the kid. Why aren't you getting on the bus in the morning? Why are you saying maybe you're sick, but you've been out 10 days. So what's happening? Once they see that you care about them,
Mhm.
they'll get back to you. And that's what you have to do. They have to know that you care about them. And that's how you can deal with a lot of behaviors, not the behaviors, but dealt with most of the behaviors are let's talk about it. What's happening? Tell me what you're feeling. Did something happen yesterday or a week ago? Do you want to talk to the school counselor? Do you need to take a break? We have a signal like this. It doesn't matter who you are in my class. This means I need to go take a walk. The students know they take 2 little spins outside of the class, their hallways, and they come back and they're refreshed. They're not gonna do it in the middle of a lesson. It has to be during the right time. Sometimes I'll say, "Can you wait 5 minutes because I want to finish this up with you, and then you can go take your walk."
One thing you said, I think is so profound and important. You have to have their heart first before you can have their mind.
Yes, absolutely. You have to care, and they have to feel that you think there's something special about them.
Yeah,
We want that as adults too, don't we?
absolutely we do.
But it doesn't go away. It doesn't, the feeling doesn't leave.
So what do you think kids on the playground, they're talking about Miss Manning? What do you think they're saying?
My hope is that they say, my teacher cares about me, that I have learned something new today. I hope that they say, if I have a problem, I know I can go to her. That I
Mm,
can count on her to be there for me, not just with the education piece, because I will do anything to make sure that if a student is struggling with something, I will sit here on this computer and I will research and I will find a way to help that kid. So I would hope that the kids would say, my teacher, she is there for me for whatever I need, whether it's help with a math problem or help with an emotion that I'm having that I can't name and I don't know what to do with it.
share with me a success story, somebody that with your help overcame significant challenges to get over whatever obstacle it was.
So I have had a family of boys. I had the 4 boys, and it started with the trauma of getting here. They came from Honduras. They walked here, and the mom told me that at one point the family got put in a freezer basically, and she thought, "This is it. We're not going to live through this."
Oh,
Finally made it here, and I had the oldest son. And they came about middle of the year as he came as a 5th grader. He really hadn't been in school, and so he didn't know how to read, he didn't know how to write, and he had so many emotions. There were times I could not get him to move from his chair. He was just so angry. My success was I got him to read basic syllables and words in Spanish. And he felt great about that. Then I had his 2 younger brothers through the pandemic. One of the brothers was always getting in trouble. Like, constantly, he was saying bad words, he was doing this. The success stories with this whole family. So I got this particular student to buy into the educational piece. Okay, then his younger brother, he just wouldn't come to school. And he would hide under tables when he got to school. He just didn't want to do work. So I dug a little deeper and we were able to get him into the special education program. And one thing that I felt really good about is he wouldn't do any work. And I gave him one day, I said, okay, I'm just going to try this. I said, okay, so look at this page. How many problems do you think you can do on this page? He said, I can do this one. I said, okay, well, go do it. He came back and he did it. And I jumped around and I danced and we celebrated and he got a prize for doing it. Next day, he comes in. I say, okay, you did one yesterday. What do you think today? And he goes, I did 3, he did 3. By the end of this whole thing, he was doing the whole sheet. But you know what? He had control of the
that's
situation.
Yeah.
even though I had control of the situation.
Yeah, right.
He thought he controlled the situation. So that was him. And then the youngest brother just, it's interesting because they all had different traumas. I mean, this boy really was, he had so many challenges. And I think I helped him be able to get along with others and again, buy into school is what's going to help me be
Mhm.
that person. He really was getting into trouble all the time on the bus. He wouldn't get on the bus. By the time he left our school, said, "Oh, he's such a good student." None of these kids were on grade level with their work.
Yeah.
There is hope. If they just keep studying, they can do better for themselves. And that's what their mom wanted for them. That the whole saga with the family, each kid had an individual challenge and we worked through it.
Yeah. The hope is there that if they keep studying, they can do better for themselves.
Absolutely. We had to peel that onion back.
All right.
Basics for each one of those boys, it was I had to peel that onion back and say, how do we get to the bottom of things so we can really get into this thing called education?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Where are they now?
They're sadly, they moved out of district, but one would be a senior in high school. One must be a freshman in high school. The other, maybe 8th grade, 7th grade. I do like to keep track and see how many students do.
Yeah. Do you have some other stories like that you want to share?
This is back from when I started teaching.
Yeah.
My daughter's name is Isabel, and she's named Isabel because when I first started teaching, there was this beautiful student named Isabel in my class. And I noticed that things maybe weren't right, whether she was tired, she was coming in the same clothes. Well, I found out that she was homeless and she was living in the car with her mom,
Oh, wow.
but she came to school. She was always smiling. She was always willing to work. She was just such a pleasure with all of this happening in her life. She had bad teeth because there was no money there to
One.
with that. And I said, if I have a daughter one day, she will have that name Isabel
Wow.
because this girl was tough and resilient. And so one of my daughters has the name Isabel, and I love that it came from that I was inspired by
Yeah.
student. I'll tell you a funny story. So this one student, I constantly was coaching her and I was always trying to give her positivity. Instead of this, why don't you do this? Instead of talking to this kid this way, why don't you do it that way? I have twins. And so she ends up being my daughter's age. This girl has her locker in 6th grade at middle school next to my twins. And she went to my daughters. She knew them because my daughters used to come to school for around the holidays, they just come in and hang out. She ran over to them and she goes, "Look, I have a picture of your mom in my locker." All I could think of would because they call me Miss Velez. What Miss Velez tell me to do?
Mother.
Kind of a success story. I told my girl, "You must have thought she's my mom, and I don't even have a picture of her in my locker." So at the end of the school year, I always printed out pictures, and that was my gift to them is they make a scrapbook. I take photos all year long, and I print out the photos, and then they make a scrapbook. So she must have taken it from the scrap.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, stories like that where I've had students that have graduated, they come back to visit, and had a group of 5 or 6 young ladies come back and visit me and surprise me for my birthday, and I
Oh,
was very moved.
that's awesome.
I thought maybe I made a difference, you
Yeah.
know?
Right on.
It's about making a difference.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not about me, it's about them, and it's about what can I do for you to set you up to have some form of success in your life.
How has teaching changed you?
I think I'm patient, I'm compassionate. I feel that throughout the years, I have become even more patient. And I think that it transferred into being a mom. I
Mhm.
think it worked both ways where being a mom helped me be a better teacher, but being a teacher also helped me be a better mom. I take those experiences and crisscross them. It's definitely changed me for the better and it's definitely made me a better person.
Amazing. Your daughters and students are very fortunate for.
Thank you.
Well, anything else that you want to share about your time
Maybe.
in your classroom? Miss Velez's time in the classroom.
Yes, it blows my mind that I've been doing this for so long and I have been through all kinds of changes in educational pedagogy and, you know,
Oh, okay.
we taught reading this way, we taught it that way. Then it's this way and now it's that way. I think you have to roll with the punches and I think that's what education and being a teacher
Mm.
taught me and think stick with the positivity and I'm just grateful for all the students that I've had throughout the years. I tell my students that I learn with them, and I truly do. They teach me something every day, whether it's a little factoid about the country that they're from, or
Mm.
it's just about a way that I can be better, improve myself as a person, something that's not tangible.
Knowing your kids, seeing your kids interacting with them, how does that make you feel about the future?
I think we are going to be in good hands. I think that we can say a lot of negative things about kids in the different generations, but I see kids that are brave and are out there trying their best. I think that I feel brave doing new things when I look at what the youth of today are doing. And so I think we have to give them a chance. I think when it was our time, when we were their age, I'm sure the older generations looked and thought, oh boy, oh dear, but it's fine, didn't we?
That's right. Absolutely. This is fantastic. Thank you for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for being an amazing teacher and helping all those hundreds, probably thousands of kids through your career.
Yes, it's been great. And to be continued.